It's that time of year again. The air is getting colder, the leaves are falling down, pumpkin spice infiltrates every aspect of your life, and you can start to hear Mariah Carey's demonic cries in the distance as she prepares to strike. So I'm a big fan of Halloween and spooky things in general, and I thought it would be fun to take a look at a few games that are good to play around the Halloween season. The first game is an NES classic, and honestly kind of a cop-out, but I don't care, because I want to talk about it. Castlevania was published by Konami for the Nintendo Entertainment System in 1987. A game that I'm sure does not need much introduction, Castlevania is an action platform game that has players taking control of Simon Belmont on a mission to destroy Dracula. Castlevania was developed by a team with a great fondness and respect for classic horror movies, and it shows. This game oozes atmosphere and is absolutely peak October video game fare. All of the enemies are based on classic horror characters and tropes such as Frankenstein, zombies, skeletons, mummies, and eagles. I love the look of the NES Castlevania games. They are immediately recognizable and suit the game's themes perfectly. And then there's the music. This game has some of my favorite 8-bit tunes ever created. Now, Castlevania is not without its faults. The controls are a bit stiff, but manageable, and it's a pretty difficult game, at least for me. But as a testament to how great this game truly is, I always keep coming back for more. If you haven't played the original Castlevania, do it. It's definitely a perfect game to get you in the Halloween spirit. Up next, we have a pretty modern game that just came out in the last few years. Pumpkin Jack was published by Head Up Games for the Nintendo Switch, Steam, and Xbox One in 2020. It was also later released for the PS4, PS5, and the Xbox Series X in 2021. It is a 3D platformer that follows a dead spirit who is sent by the devil in order to defeat a wizard trying to save the world. You are the bad guy in this game, and that's cool. Very cool. I definitely got Tim Burton vibes from this game, with a lot of the music reminding me of the work of Danny Elfman, who I absolutely love. The style and vibe of this game is spot on, and absolutely built to be played around Halloween time. I very much enjoyed my time with this game, and felt that the 3D platforming core of the game was very well designed, and was a lot of fun. The only real issue that I have with the game is the implementation of these levels that have Jack performing various actions while controlling only his pumpkin head, with like these little tentacle legs. These levels were not fun for me, and they pop up way too often and are too repetitive. There are several sections that shake up the gameplay in ways that I enjoyed, such as the level that had me taking place in a kart race, but these pumpkin head levels are pretty dire. Outside of that, though, I thought Pumpkin Jack was great, and this is a game that I will probably pull out in future spooky seasons. I'm really excited about the next game because I finally get the chance to talk about the TurboGrafx 16. Splatterhouse was published by NEC for the TurboGrafx 16 in 1990. Like Castlevania, Splatterhouse takes influence from horror films, but where Castlevania drew more from the classics such as Dracula and Frankenstein, Splatterhouse borrows from more modern influences such as Friday the 13th and Evil Dead. Originally a Namco arcade game, Splatterhouse is a beat-em-up that centers around Rick, who is trying to save his girlfriend Jennifer while wearing a sentient mask that gives him superhuman strength. While this home port is censored from the original arcade game, this is still a great version of Splatterhouse. It's not a very long game, but it will absolutely put you in the spooky season mood. You should definitely check out Splatterhouse if you've never played it, especially if you're a fan of old arcade beat-em-ups or slasher horror movies. You're definitely going to have some fun with it. Our next game is a classic that I played as a child that has thankfully been resurrected for the modern age on modern consoles with a fresh coat of paint. The House of the Dead remake was published by Forever Entertainment for the Nintendo Switch in 2022, with versions later released for the PlayStation 4 and 5, the Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and Windows. The House of the Dead was originally a Sega light gun arcade game that ran on the Sega Model 2 hardware. This remake, while not without its flaws, made me so happy when it was originally announced. I have many fond memories of playing this in the arcades as a mini Aggie, and then later renting it for my Sega Saturn. This remake retains the charm and the over-the-top ridiculousness of the experience, and I have a giant grin on my face every time I play through it. The story and the acting is absurd, and I absolutely eat it up.
You must stop, Curian, or else something terrible will happen.
Sophie!
The biggest flaw for me personally is the aiming of the gun with the Joy-Con. While it sounds like a great idea in theory, the Joy-Con has to be constantly recentered by clicking in the thumbstick. This can be a bit frustrating, but I usually just find myself acclimating to it after a few minutes of play and start recentering without even thinking about it. It just kind of becomes second nature. This is definitely perfect Halloween gaming fare, and as long as you don't mind a lot of mindless violence and a healthy helping of cheese, I think you'll find a lot to like in the House of the Dead remake.
This is as far as you go. I'll finish you there.
And the last game we're going to be taking a look at is the oldest of this collection of games. It is based on one of the most beloved horror films of all time, and it was produced by a video game company that was founded by Charles Band. Halloween was published by Wizard Video Games for the Atari 2600 in 1983. One of the two games published by Charles Band's company, along with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Halloween finds you playing as Laurie Strode going up against the Shape himself, Michael Myers. Laurie's goal is to try and save as many children as possible. This is done by leading the children to the rooms at the end of the halls while avoiding Michael's homicidal intentions. Now, I want to say three things. 1. This rendition of the Halloween theme song on the Atari 2600 is pretty freaking amazing. Like, it's really good. I dig it. 2. This game is insanely gory and violent for the era. Like, look at this. That's awesome. 3. How are they able to make such an amazing 8-bit render of Jamie Lee Curtis? This is absolutely insane for the 2600. This looks just like her. These are the same picture. While certainly not a game in the very upper echelon of great 2600 games, Halloween is great fun and sure to put you in that Halloween mood. Out of the two games released by Wizard Video Games, this is definitely the better game, and a pretty good game in its own right, at least in my opinion. I always have a good time with it. And there we go! 5 games that are good for the spooky Halloween season. Let me know what you think of these games, and let me know what games you like to play around this time of year. I hope everyone has a safe and fun Halloween. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I will see you next time. I want to give a quick shout out and thank you to our channel members. You guys are awesome. A big shout out and thank you to Sad Vlad, Retro Cart Collector, Bread and Circuses, and Vira's Vault. If you would like to become a channel member and gain access to special perks, please check that join button down below. If anyone finds this, I'm so scared right now. All I want to do is play Castlevania. I'm so scared right now. I don't know where I am. All I want to do is go home and play some Castlevania. But I have no idea how to get there. Hello? Hello? Help somebody finds me soon. I'm out of food. I have no water. And I can hear them in the distance. Oh, wait a second. Oh, wait, there's my computer. Hold on. Wait, I know where I'm at. I'm in my office. Oh, silly, God, is my face red? I'm gonna go play some Castlevania. Happy Halloween. I don't know, I had a... I don't know.